Hello everyone, welcome back to eDoor to the World 桃园市外十元一门。今天呢是我们第3季的第1集。那同学们，你们过年期间有没有去哪里玩呢？那欢迎就是你们在留言区底下告诉我们你们过年去的哪些好玩的地方，或者是你们做哪些事情。Okay, so today I am back with Tyler.
Hey guys.
So Tyler, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, today we're going to talk about, I think, a subject I think the kids will like. It's about live-action anime adaptations. And which ones are better? TV show versions or movie versions? For reference, we're going through an article that talks about 8 different points as to why the article likes TV versions better than movie versions. I don't know about you, Raymond, but you've seen some live action anime adaptations, movie versions, right?
Yes,
I have. Which ones have you seen?
I remember I have seen the Avatar, The Last Airbender many years ago. That was from
10 years ago?
10 years or 12 years ago. That's an anime, right?
Yeah.
And then the movie was not that great,
no.
I had to say.
I thought it was terrible, personally. I thought it was terrible. I was like, ugh. What about it did you not like? I know why I didn't like it, but what about it did you not like?
For students who don't know what this is, the Avatar it's about people who can master 4 elements of water, air, and fire.
And earth. That was the 4th one, earth, yeah.
Yes. So during the movie, the water benders who can manipulate water, so when they are manipulating the water, right, the water is keeps dripping down. Yeah. But what do you say that? It just stay shaped.
Okay, it maintains its shape and it doesn't lose its cohesion.
Yeah,
it's always staying together it looks like a ball, or it looks like the shape. Yeah.
When the water is moving, it just doesn't look good. Yeah, it moves so slow. So and the water is keep dripping down as it looks.
Which was very different from the original anime. Which you saw the original anime, right?
Yeah, I did.
Oh goodness. Oh. I loved watching that anime. I think I've watched it. I don't know how. I think I've watched that anime all the way through, at least 10 times. From start to finish. It is so good. But when they did the movie adaptation, like you said, the entire thing, it did not look good. It just felt unrealistic, unrealistic in terms of how they did the CGI, how they did how they developed the plot. And actually, that's something that's brought on by the 8 points. And I'm going to read the 8 points to the kids real quick.
Sure.
So, for all you kids here, the 8 points that are made in the article, and you can go and read this yourselves, is number 1, live-action TV shows have a smaller barrier of entry, and we're going to talk about what this means a little bit later.
Okay.
Number 2, actors in live-action anime TV shows can age with their characters, which means the actors get older, like the characters. Number 3, live-action anime TV shows use original voice actors. Original means the people who did the voices in the actual animes. Number 4, live-action TV shows, anime TV shows, use their budget better. Number 5, more characters can be included in live-action anime shows. Number 6, characters tend to be more believable. And then number 7, live-action TV shows have time for filler or episodes that talk about things that aren't always necessary to the plot. And then number 8, live-action anime TV shows offer more room to develop characters and arcs or storylines. So these are the 8 points, kids. And Raymond, that's a lot of points. I think we should go with 3 that are the most applicable in this situation. I can see a couple already. Are there any that stick out to your mind?
Yeah, sure. But I also agree with you when you said that the CGI part.
Yeah.
CGI in Chinese is 特效. So I think that movie industry back in 10 or 20 years ago, the CGI wasn't that good. So when they made fiction movies, the CGI just didn't look good. No. So you just feel like it's a bit fake. So I think that's was also one of the reasons that I think that the anime adaptations to live actions was not that great.
Yeah, and I agree with a lot of that, actually. I think another thing that can be added is that, especially when you consider a lot of animes, with movies, they have a smaller budget a lot of times, if you think about it. It used to be, I remember years ago, it used to be that TV shows used to have very small budgets and couldn't really do too much. Whereas nowadays, TV shows have a lot more of a budget, and so they're able to distribute it more so to the things that are important. And actually, the article talks about this. With movies, I always think of, for example, whenever you have switching from anime, but going over to like anything with Marvel or DC, there's always some famous actor they're using, and the famous actors, they're very expensive. Like a lot of the budget for movies go to paying those really high wage actors.
Mostly for the actors, right?
Yeah. A lot goes. Well, I don't know if mostly. I'm not fully into cinematography in terms of all the backgrounds, but I know a lot of money goes to the actors. And the more you spend on the actors, the less you have for CGI, which is like a very big thing. CGI or costume development or brighter, like all these different other elements. So I think that the fact that with a lot of TV shows, you don't see as much popular actors. You just see people who fit the role and do a good job. Like I know the most common one that's out nowadays, live action, is Luffy. Did you see that show?
I did.
You did? Okay. I haven't seen it yet, but I do want to try to set aside some time to watch it, but I hear it's really good. Is it really good? Or
it's pretty good. But they changed some parts where I think they should have stayed with the original settings.
Okay.
But overall it's a good adaptation.
And would you say it's pretty accurate to the original anime?
Yes.
Okay. Because that's something that...
Oh, you meant the characters, right?
Well, the characters, the story, all these different elements as well.
Yeah. Okay, Tyler, why don't we pick 3 points out of this 8 points from the article?
Yeah. So the 3 that I'm thinking is the first one, which was live action anime TV shows have a smaller barrier of entry. That's the first one I think we should talk about. Second one is number 7, which is live action anime TV shows have time for filler episodes. And then number 8, which is live action anime TV shows offer more room to develop the characters and storylines and these different elements. And we kind of briefly talked about number 4, which was live action TV shows use their budget better, but we already talked about that. Number 1, smaller barrier of entry. Do you know what that means?
I don't.
Okay. I've seen this used in regards to financial things, but to put it simply, a barrier of entry is something that keeps someone or something from being able to enter into a new area or field.
Okay.
So it's literally an obstacle. That's what it is. It can be a law. It can be a inconvenience. So many different things.
Okay, so you are saying that people who want to do live action anime TV shows will be easier for them to do.
Yeah. It'll be easier to access TV shows because you have like Crunchyroll, you have Toonami, you have all these different websites where you can go and watch animes. Whereas if you want to watch a movie, you have to go to a movie theater. That's one thing. Even if there's multiple theaters, there's only one way. You have to go to the theater.
Oh, okay.
But TV shows, you can watch them on the TV. You can watch them on your computer, watch them on your phone. You can go to multiple websites. So it's easier to get somebody to watch an anime when you have multiple platforms to watch it from. Mm-hmm. So,
okay. What about number 7?
Number 7, which is TV show, they have more time for filler. So this one is about, there's a lot of parts of stories that have nuances or parts or things that can really make a difference in understanding what's going on in a TV show or any kind of story. With movies, you don't have the opportunity to get those details and correctly communicate those details. Because, I mean, how long is a typical movie? Like, is it
90 minutes?
90 minutes. I mean, unless it's one of the movies unless it's like a Marvel or superhero movie where they're like 3 hours long. But who's got time for that? But even with that amount of time, even with 3 hours, you don't have enough time to hash out all the different details of a storyline. So a filler episode can actually serve that point. Now, the difference between a filler episode and a story development is that a filler episode, if you take it out, you still have the main plot intact. The main story is still intact. But the filler episode, it either contributes to the story or it just is a little fun thing to enjoy about a side character or a side plot. So that's the idea behind a filler episode. And with TV shows, you can go on for so many different seasons. I mean, I think the show Luffy, that's the anime version is like how many seasons? Like 10, 15, 20?
10, I don't know, 10 seasons?
I think it's more than that, but that's a lot of seasons.
Yeah.
And if you're talking 12 episodes per season, I mean, you can do a lot with that much.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah. And then number 8, which is TV shows. I mean, again, you have more episodes, so you have more time for developing the characters. Again, in a movie, you only got about 2 hours, the most 3 hours to develop a character, develop a story. Unless you're chaining different movies together, it's a lot easier with TV shows to show the transformation of a character from one person to another, or the change of a villain from being the bad guy to the good guy. It's a lot easier to do that in TV shows and TV episodes.
Yeah, and some characters, they even have, because they're too popular, right? So they even have their own series or seasons.
Yeah, they have their own entire seasons, essentially. Series. I'm trying to think of a couple examples with regard to that kind of stuff. I know, but you do have that, yeah, for sure. Where, no. And there's actually a anime called Haikyuu, and then I think in Demon Slayer you have a little bit of this as well.
Yes.
Where
like a few episodes.
Yeah, there's a few episodes, or even like a partial season or a movie that's dedicated to either a character, or I know in Haikyuu there was an episode about not the main volleyball team, but about the opponent volleyball team or one of the teams that they played before.
Oh yeah.
So you can do that with TV shows. You can't do that with movies.
Yeah, exactly.
And most people don't care with movies. So if I was going to watch if I was going to see a movie about Spider-Man and someone made a movie about Green Goblin, I wouldn't really care, or Dr. Octopus or Venom. I wouldn't really care about that as much as I want to see Spider-Man.
Yeah,
so, a TV show, it's like, oh, let's see what this is. So all right, kids. So now we're going to talk about our words for the episode. The first one we mentioned is actually a phrase. It's called barrier of entry. And it's things that prevent someone or something from getting into something new. Again, a barrier of entry is things that prevent someone or something from getting into something new. The second is filler episodes. A filler episode is an episode that doesn't focus on the main point or character of the story. And the last one is character development. Character development. Remember character from our previous episodes, but character development is the process of showing a character's background, seeing their personality, revealing their motives behind who they are and what they do, and observing their transformation from one character stage to another. And those are the words for the day, kids. Now for a discussion question. I want to know, what is your favorite live action anime adaptation? And kids, just so you know, just because I think live action anime shows, TV shows are better than live action movies of animes, like live action adaptations, just because I think that and just because Raymond think that, does not mean you have to think that. We are just giving our opinions. An opinion is subjective. So, if you like the movie versions of live-action animes, if you like those, that's okay. It's okay. You can have a different opinion. You can disagree. If I disagree with Raymond, you know what? That's okay. If he disagrees with me, that's okay. If you disagree with your friend, that's okay.
同学们，那我们今天讲的任何的意见呢，其实都是非常 subjective， 意思就是指呢是非常主观的。那每个人的意见都是不一样的嘛，你可能跟你朋友啊、同学们的意见都不太一样。你喜欢真人版改编电影，或者是你喜欢原本的动画，其实都可以。那一样欢迎同学们可以去来投稿你们学习单，我们这学期一样是有抽奖活动。那我们就很期待同学们你们的回答。那我们就下周见 ，See you next week， 拜拜。
Bye.